King Charles is officially set to hold on to the royal train over the next 2 years after reports the iconic train could be scrapped. So what do we know about the future of the royal train?
Yeah, this was quite exciting news, I think, for royal enthusiasts. The royal train is, of course, just that. It's the official train that the monarch uses when they're travelling around the UK. It's a very, very iconic thing. It's been used since the 1800s. I mean, a very kind of storied part of royal history. But there was a bit of a question mark over the royal train for quite a while, because after Queen Elizabeth died, there was an expectation that Charles would probably scrap it, just because it's very expensive to operate, as you can imagine. And these days it is, probably a little bit more cost effective just for the monarch to jump in a motorcade and drive. But they have decided to retain the train, which was quite exciting. So they have retrofitted it a little bit. There's some new kind of a cypher on the side, some updates. They've also revamped the engine, so it's running on biofuel, which is perfect for King Charles because, of course, he's all about the environment and being cost effective.
Yeah.
So, definitely one for the train enthusiasts, and it's exciting to see that the royal train is, going to be continuing chugging along for many years to come.
Yes, absolutely. Fans across the world were shocked last week after Hollywood star Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were discovered dead in their Santa Fe home. What's the latest on the investigation into their mysterious deaths, and why has one Hollywood insider alleged foul play?
I mean, this is just a horrible case that's unfolding. Of course, the bodies were discovered last week. It's understood that they may have been laying there in the home for 2 weeks or more, based on Gene Hackman's pacemaker, which stopped sort of transmitting in the middle of February. Of course, they were not discovered until last week, as I said. The Santa Fe Police Department has launched a criminal investigation. Initially, there were reports that it could have been possibly a carbon monoxide poisoning, which is not uncommon in older homes, but that was all cleared. That was cleared very quickly. So there's a huge question mark now over what exactly happened. There's also a theory that maybe that they took their own lives. That has been ruled out or cast doubt on because they weren't discovered together. They were discovered at different points in the house. So Betsy was discovered in a bathroom. Gene Hackman was discovered elsewhere on the property. So there's a lot of questions remaining. Randy Quaid, actor, he is very outspoken on Twitter. He has alleged foul play. There's no evidence of that to date, but I do think that the bizarre details of it has definitely captured a lot of conspiracy theories, and I think that there's a lot still to be discovered here.
Absolutely, thank you for bringing us that update. Look, the Oscars, the 97th Academy Awards, they took place earlier this week, but there was one film that failed to receive any nominations, and that was the biopic Reagan starring Dennis Quaid. Let's take a look.
I am about to start the biggest war of this century, and I'm not going to fire a single shot.
You're gonna blow up 8 years of diplomacy.
Well, if you think that got their undies in a wad, you just wait.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight!
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Riley, what have the filmmakers had to say, and also could this be linked to the Academy's controversial DEI requirements?
Yeah, quite an interesting one. As you said, the 97th Academy Awards took place on Sunday. It was the highlight of course, the Hollywood award season. But I will say, I think there was a lot of people in the industry talking about how this year's films were a little bit interesting, maybe not typical. Of course, Best Picture went to Anora, which was a very low-budget indie film about a Russian sex worker.
Right.
Probably not your typical Oscar movie. And there have been some questions about, are these new DEI requirements that the Academy has introduced, is that impacting the quality of the films being submitted? One of those films, of course, being Reagan. It was, on paper, the kind of movie that you would think might be an Oscar contention. It was, of course, about a very popular president, Ronald Reagan, a big star attached, Dennis Quaid, and a lot of other good actors in it too, Jon Voight, Mina Suvari. So, you would think that this is the kind of film that would be considered for awards, and it really wasn't. And the screenwriter, Howard Cosner, has spoken out. He believes that the film was impacted by these policies. Wow. Of course, there's the official DEI policy, which says that to be nominated for Best Picture, films have to have X number of minority groups in them. Yeah. And then there's, of course, other awards that don't have those requirements, but he feels have just, I guess unofficially impacted maybe the film's chances. So a bit of a shame, but looks like a great movie, definitely one to check out. It did do quite well at the box office. So, unfortunate, but I think that's just the case here. And I think that, there is a conversation to be had maybe about, are we getting a little bit carried away with some of these requirements?
Absolutely, if it's impacting films the way that he says it is, and good on him for calling it out so we can keep having these conversations. So we've seen so many companies roll back their DEI policies because it has the reverse effect. Reilly Sullivan, so good to speak with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.